Wow. Fort Wayne Community Schools. Why the shift from deep learning to everyday deep learning in Fort Wayne Community Schools? I first want to share a phrase with you from our superintendent, Dr. Mark Daniel. Dr. Mark Daniel used this phrase to describe deep learning and its importance to our FWCS family. And look at the words. Deep learning brings the curriculum to life. We knew that in order to really live the phrase that Dr. Daniel had shared with us as a district, we needed to focus on everyday deep learning. What did that mean to us? We really wanted to focus on having students' voice at the center of the learning that we wanted to occur. We understood the importance of really connecting authentic problem solving, real world application to the learning that we wanted our students to engage in. We knew that we would move from that compliance component to that relationship component with teachers, students, families, and community as they focused on the 4 elements and the 6 C's of deep learning. We know that when we focus on the 4 elements, that the 4 elements are the foundations of truly enriching the sticky learning that we want to occur. Now let me pause for a moment, because when we first rolled out deep learning, we focused on the 6 C's. And focused on the 6 C's, we knew that this was the output that we wanted from our students, and that we truly needed to make sure that all of our stakeholders understood the foundational components of the 4 elements. We truly wanted to make sure that our students on a daily basis looked at communication, that they were able to use the skill of critical thinking, that we were providing opportunities for our students to collaborate with each other, and through that collaboration, our students were able to be creative. We knew that if we focused on communication, critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, that it was going to build the character in our students that we wanted them to have to be college and career ready students and ready for the real world and ready to live in a world that they would be the citizenships of the country. One of the things that we knew that we needed to do was focus on where we were truly at as a district and where is it that we truly wanted to go. So we looked at our clarity, depth, and sustainability phase of implementation of everyday deep learning. We knew the importance of our teachers having a common language. We knew the importance of our teachers having precision around the pedagogy needed to really integrate the 6 C's throughout our curriculum across the district. And we knew if we had clarity and depth, it would lead us into that phase of sustainability. So with that, we have a deep learning teacher self-assessment that we ask our teachers to take the fall of the school year, the middle of the school year, and toward the end of the school year. The data that I'm looking at, this snapshot shows fall data of 2020. And this data shows that based upon 1,028 responses, the average around clarity was 2.28. The average around depth was 2.12. And then the sustainability showed an average of 2.6. We know that as we look at being disruptors and wanting deep learning to be truly embedded in our curriculum across the district, that when we look at this data, we still know that there's work to do around clarity. And we definitely know that there's work to do in order to have depth with the 6 C's and the 4 E's of deep learning in order for us to sustain or institutionalize everyday deep learning with every stakeholder internally and with our stakeholders externally. So again, we want to look at our focus. So remember I spoke about clarity and where teachers saw themselves? And we really truly believe that the clarity is there because we took the time to really focus on the systems condition rubric with cabinet and extended cabinet. And we truly went a step further in making sure in that collaborative inquiry that we had conversations around the building level rubric with our building level leaders. And we know in order for us to really have the disruption that we want with deep learning in our district, we have to really focus on the design and assessing deep learning with our teachers who's practicing with our students and learning alongside our students every single day. So we know, again, I said, why the change? Why the change from deep learning to everyday deep learning? Because we knew that that was the culture that we wanted to live with in our district. We also wanted to make sure that as principals engaged in learning conversations with each other, that again, that would push the work of everyday deep learning. Now, when we talk about disruptions, we know the pandemic caused a disruption for us. That basically with our students and with our staff, we had to truly shift into well-being to make sure the focus was on how do we look at the 4 elements, especially our learning environment and leveraging digital to ensure the healthiness of our staff and of our students. And then again, that really difficult piece of how do we incorporate those everyday deep learning visits in a digital world. So for us, we knew the importance or a group of stakeholders that we truly wanted to focus on was our first and second year teachers. We wanted to make sure that they understood the impact of everyday deep learning in their classrooms. And a few of the quotes that they shared with us was that with using everyday deep learning, especially during the pandemic, was the relationships between that collaborative space that they were able to build with their students. By them really truly listening to their students, the confidence that they were finding that their students were able to have with each other in that collective efforts to have that across schools, and then really that stability among demographics. And that main component was really where new teachers shared with us the classroom culture that they were able to build this inclusive community with their students because of the focus of the 4 elements in the 6 C's. So again, let's talk about everyday deep learning across the district and really a disruption that had to occur in order for this to become real. Curriculum 2.0, and the reason I reference Curriculum 2.0, because of course we had Curriculum 1.0. And with Curriculum 1.0, it was a very scripted curriculum that basically told teachers day by day what they needed to do in the teaching and learning of their students. Wow. You know what our teachers pushed back and said, how do you expect for me to do deep learning or everyday deep learning when I truly do not have the autonomy to allow my students' voice to be used and what we need to teach around the critical standards and the priority standards? So we made sure that there was alignment between everyday deep learning and the curriculum. What is it that we need our teachers to teach? And what is it that we wanted our students to learn? And we knew that with this unit plan, it really took at heart the interest of our students. It really took at heart how we could use the 6 C's within our 4 elements to really drive everyday deep learning. So with that, I really want to express, again, the importance of our FWCS learning visit and planning tool. This is kind of new. Not new that it's the first time that we've used it, but again, here's a component that we need to look at differently. We've used the learning visit and planning tool with our central office leadership basically with our supervisors that supervising principals, and then asking our coaches or others within the buildings to be on learning visits with them. Here's what we want to make that shift to. We need central office staff, our coherence team that's made up of PL coordinators, technology coordinators, curriculum coordinators, to all see their voice in this work and for them to own it, for them to be able that when they're in buildings, that they're having conversations with teachers, with coaches, with interventionists around the 4 elements and the 6 C's, so that they have a deeper understanding of what supports our teachers need to support and guide their individual facilitation of deep learning within their classrooms and collaboratively with their teachers' grade levels, content, and etc. across the building.